Everyone, welcome to our joint session of the debate. I'm going to be moderating for both sides just to make things move smoothly. Uh, Let me lay out some basic administrative notes. First of all, we want to make the point clear that the people speaking on both sides are representing their side of the debate. Here are the youths and the adults. They are not necessarily expressing an opinion of their own. So remember that when you're looking at the person. They're speaking on behalf of all the kids that were in that room talking about whatever topics we are going to be talking about later on. All right. And since we're short of time, I'll move straight ahead into the first topic. Yeah. Okay. Um, Topic 1, the Indian values system and traditions in marriage in juxtaposition with the Western style of forming relationships. So you guys already talked about this, so you guys have an idea, and then the youths already talked about this. So the first point in this topic was, why do you like or dislike the idea of youths being introduced to marriage candidates by their families, or do you see it as a viable option in juxtaposition with exploratory dating to find yourself a match? So on this one, first we'd like a representative from the parents to speak for 5 minutes, or as many representatives as you'd like to speak for up to 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, I'll stop you from speaking.
Thank you very much. We had a very lively discussion about this issue, and we had a kind of an equal split in our audience. A lot of parents who has been through a solid Indian value and the marriage system, they had a feeling that we really are better off selecting our kids' wife or husband based on our old values and introducing them through the family. The marriage is about the family, and in marriage we have to have a gathering of two family rather than your individual choice. And that was a very strong consensus from the adult side. But at the same time, we had some opposing point of view also, that we are living in America, we are raising our kids in America, our kids are going to be exposed to American standard, American system. So we have to make some compromise. We have to know that, yes, this is the system, this works. And to get there, we have to use a different technique rather than forcing our kids. So the different techniques we talked about is that when we are raising our kids, we have to expose them to other Indian children who believe in the same value, whose parents are from the same culture. So this organization gives us that kind of a springboard, a start, where we can have our kids associating with other kids from Chicago, from Florida, from California, who otherwise they'll never get to see each other, they'll never get to like each other. But if they're coming here and they start liking each other, hopefully they'll probably stay within the system. And so that was kind of a compromise we came up with.
Okay, thank you. Covered all the points, I guess, on your thing. All right, on the youth side, I think Julie is going to be speaking on this issue.
I think we pretty much agree with what you're saying. We divided our arranged, introduced, with the parents introducing our future mate into 3 categories: viable option, no, and yes, completely parents' choice. Most of the people went with the viable option because there's no other way that we could feel comfortable. We want to please you. We want to do everything to make you happy. There's other ways that us kids can meet our future husband or wife. We said through KPSNA, coming to these conventions every 2 years, when we come here, there's an option of getting each other's emails, getting each other's phone numbers. That could be a way of communicating, meeting up, getting to know each other. Another option, the part that you guys don't like, I think, going to clubs, nightclubs, coming home late. That's the only way I think we could meet our other significant other, but it's not really meeting our significant other because everyone's putting on an act. They want to fit in, but then we won't actually know who that person is. So the only way we really know, the only way we can get to know our significant other is through a friend, family friend. Like in our group, we were saying, this is just an example. If Milan's parents came to my parents to arrange our marriage, I know him because I feel comfortable. We've danced together in a couple of conventions, so I know him. But let's just say someone out there, our parents got together. I don't know anything about you, except maybe your name through the name tag. I wouldn't really want to know or get to know you within the 4 days. I'd want your email, your phone number, or something just to get to know each other. That will take a while. The no side, we are our own individual. Some parents and their kids, they have a communication problem, so they may not be able to communicate exactly what they're looking for, what type of person they're looking for, who they actually are. We also said that parents are looking out for us. They want us to be happy. They want us to be happy the rest of our life. They're looking for someone better, just keep looking. I think that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Julie. Well, as you can see, a lot of interesting points are brought up. We can see on the kids' side, most people saw it as a viable option because of all the doors it opens. And on the adult side, we see that maybe some adults realize that maybe it's not the best to do the forced arrange, but somehow modify it to how it would work in this country where you introduce them just so you would have similarities in culture, similarities, the two families, because as, what's her name? As Amit Bhai was saying, a marriage is a union of two families, not just two people in our culture. So at that, I would like to move on to the next topic, the next bullet point, which is, if you believe in dating, when do you think it should begin and under what guidelines? For this one, I'd like the youths to start off. And I think Shilpa is going to talk about this.
Okay, well, first I'd like to say that what I'm about to say is our opinion. It's not just mine. Dating, according to us, is going to movies, going to dinner, nothing more serious like parents make it out to be. Parents feel that it's wrong to go out with a guy, but they don't understand that they don't trust their kids. Kids just want to go out and have fun, but there's nothing wrong with getting to know someone of the opposite sex. It's just as you get older, like when it's time to get married, you know like what kind of qualities you would like in a guy. Dating teaches you that. So basically dating is just getting to know people just for your own benefit. Not only does dating help you or the other person, but it helps to get to it, how do I say it? It makes you a better person. It makes you get to know who you really are. That's what I'm trying to say. Parents feel that it's more serious though, but they don't understand that kids they don't do anything. I don't want to say it in a bad way. I'm just trying to, kids don't really do anything. I guess the main concern that parents have is that, like, they do other things, meaning, like, physical stuff. But that's not true. Dating is just, it's not as serious. It's just talking and having fun, that kind of stuff. And I guess that's about it. That's me too. Okay. We feel that dating, you should start at an early age. As I said before, you learn more stuff about yourself and you know what you're looking for when it's time to get married. And they want to save the reputation that we have. Parents believe that kids should stay in their samaj, they should get married in their samaj, they should date in their samaj, they should do all that in the samaj. But dating other races or other, like Gujaratis or other Indians, helps us. It helps us, makes us a better person. We learn more stuff, not only about ourselves, but our culture, our values, and stuff like that. When it comes to age, we believe that it depends on maturity. People mature at different ages, so we said that the majority of people were from ages 15 to 18, about half of the people, and the other half were 19 to 22. So high school and college, basically, that's when we should start dating. That's what we feel.
Okay, we didn't answer the whole question. You have time, but under what guidelines, in a sense? You wanna guidelines like?
If there is, I think the question was, if you believe in dating, what is the right age and under what guideline? If you have any, otherwise we'll talk in the general other discussion.
You have a minute left.
I think there's a difference in perspectives between the adults and the youths. Obviously, that's why we're having this debate here. The one difference here is dating and should it be done and the ages that it should be, start at. And the variables that are used for the adult side is they basically pick all the variables such as parents, family, background, everything, and they basically feel that you use those variables to choose a mate, and once the mate is chosen, then dating starts after you're married. Whereas from the child perspective, we believe it starts at an earlier age in getting to know these people and actually developing and understanding, exploring these variables ourselves. So we've actually felt that exploring these variables can start at different ages based on maturity, but we felt that from ages 12 to 14, all of us collectively have decided that that's not a good age to start exploring those variables, whereas the majority of the people decided that between ages of 15 to 18 is an excellent time where we're mature enough to start exploring these different variables and actually understanding and starting to get to know people, quote, dating.
Okay.
And then half the other
Corbin?
people decided,
Time's
between
up.
ages of 19 and 22 to start exploring these variables and start dating.
Time's up. You're continuing after Shilpa. Okay. Thank you, Shilpa and Kalpen. Now, for the same question, I'd like to call up Rajbhai.
First of all, let me tell you, we are very proud of children like you because the basics are there. આપણે બધા હું થોડું ગુજરાતીમાં પણ બોલીશ જેથી કરીને there are a lot of adults there. Because we are a good cultural community, Indian culture. As a parent, we have always given you the good value. And from there, whatever decision you will make, we are sure that you will come up with a right decision. Now the question is when. Sometime if you are too young, you are influenced by the neighbor's kids. I'm not saying that they may not be that great as you are, but it is better to wait until you get more matured. Instead of starting dating at early age, let me tell you first thing, ઘણા વડીલોને ડેટનો શબ્દ છે એ ફ્રાઇટનિંગ લાગે છે. ડેટ એટલે એકાબીજાને જોવા મળવા માટે જાણવા માટેનો શબ્દ છે. ડેટ એટલે એનો ખરાબ અર્થ લેવાનો નથી. ઘણા વડીલોને ડેટથી ગભરામણ થાય છે. હકીકતમાં જિંદગીનો પાર્ટનર શોધવા માટે જેટલો પણ સમય વધારે મળે એટલો સમય એ લોકો એકાબીજાને ઓળખે તો જિંદગીમાં લાંબા સમય સુધી એકાબીજાની સાથે સારો સમય ગુજારી શકે. એટલા માટે એકાબીજાને જાણવું અગત્યનું છે. પણ આઈ એમ સેઇંગ that instead of 16, 18, the right age according to most of the parents, we think that it should be when you go in college. Because even the voting in politics and election, the age is too high as you are expecting date at 15, 16. Because voting and marriage, remember marriage is a lifetime commitment, and voting for this or that, even that requires that much age for your own marriage decision. I think you should be more matured, and that will start in college years. And by then you will have more maturity, and when you are studying together, you know more children over there, you have more choices there, and you know which field this kid is studying, and you are qualified, so you can choose accordingly. But if you start at 16 or 18, then you don't know. Sometimes we think it is just for fun, and that is not the purpose. Main purpose is that we want to give you enough time to know each other and then make your decision. Thank you.
Thank you, Milan. Just a quick update. As we are all talking about these issues, we've been conducting a poll, electronic survey, and I just have a very interesting thing for you guys to know and for the adults to know. So what we did is we took some Palm pilots and surveyed people. So we asked adults, this is for youth to know, we asked adults this question: how do you feel about your children and dating? How do you feel about your children dating? Of the people that we surveyed, 2% of the people says not at all. 14% of the children said only allowed with Gujaratis. 39% said should only be allowed with Indians. Okay to be Gujarati, but should still be Indians. And interestingly, whatever you might think, 41% of the people thought should be allowed to date as per child's choice. So they do know. They do agree with you. Isn't that interesting? Now, we pose the same question to the youth in an electronic survey, and here are the results. We asked children who are your age group, do you agree with your parents' feeling about dating? That means we asked them, you said, my parents don't know what dating is all about. So we asked them, oh, children, do you think what, again, here's what they said. They agree very much, 18%. 56%, whopping 56% said they somewhat agree whether their parents know what's dating. And about 36%, this is very interesting, 36% of the children polled, only about a third, that parents know nothing about the dating. That's all, just the statistics. Move on.
Okay, thank you for the statistics. So basically, we've concluded this topic. We can see the main differences are on the youth side, people think of dating as a less of a formal thing and not so serious. Therefore, they think that just start at an age such as the highest votes is 15 to 18, so in high school. On opposition side, they thought it was a matter of maturity and taking dating into a more serious light. It should start after college. Basically, that covers the issue of when dating should happen. Our next
Just a quick point, Milan and all the kids. I think basically what it's coming down to is communication. All kids, you have to really start educating your parents about what the dating means. And we, as a mediator, we can help you communicate that also, that dating is not exactly going out and kissing your other partner or sleeping with them. No. Dating is actually getting to know them, who they are. And that is the biggest gap because from the parent side, what I heard was that they were really frightened. They do not want their kids dating until they are in the college. And that was a very strong consensus, I can tell you that. And that probably the main problem is that they don't know are you asking when you say, can I date so and so? So we need to have a separate session if necessary, just on this issue about communication, the rules of the dating, what do you mean exactly by dating and stuff like that.
That's a very good point that he brought up. Communication is a very big issue. There's a lot of deaf youths and adults think of this the same word and think of two completely different ideas when it comes to a lot of things like this. So the youths did agree in their session that almost under any topic you discuss with parents, communication is the issue. Just getting a dialogue between your parents and yourself. A lot of times they'll think you're thinking something else, you'll think they're thinking something else. So if there was a way of having an open dialogue between the kids and the adults, then we'd actually have less of this fear, less of this hiding behind parents' backs, and things like that. So at that, I would like to move on to the next two topics are pretty much related. It's the living outside of India. Should we still limit our choices of mates to Gujaratis and Hindus, or should we keep the option of looking at other races and religions? And then, furthermore, if you believe that mates should be Indian, why and how do you differentiate patidaras from Hindus, if you do at all? So for this one, would you like adults to go first? Okay.
We're talking C and D, or just two different C and D? Okay. What we found, and I guess I'm going to address the kids because this question is asked in reference to the adults' thought process that we collected through our session. So, pardon me, I'm going to pick on you in my, at least looking at you, and some of you in the front row here who are the supporters of the panel up here on the stage. But the overall consensus was that, we're pretty fairly open. I wouldn't say 100%, but a large majority thinks that the spectrum of choosing your partner should be open for as much as Indian. Doesn't have to be Gujarati or Kadwa Patel to start with. That would be our preference, but we are open to the total Indian community. Again, if I'm misspeaking, guys, feel free to jump in. But let's try to move on. The other question was, we do have a strong need to maintain the cultural identity. These things are not mutually exclusive. You can achieve the same purpose, which is to have the flexibility to choose your partner from the Indian community. And one thing I missed was within Hindu religion. So again, kids will say, here we go, we're starting to narrow the funnel. But we're not. I think the thing is Hindu and Indian is okay. Our preference would be Gujarati. If not, Indian and Hindu is what our preference is. We do have a need, as I said, to keep the identity. However, there was a very interesting opinion amongst, and probably a minority opinion, at least in terms of how many people spoke. And it may be a little bit more than that, but there was a strong consensus, at least to the point where we don't have to change to fit in, to look cool. If we can find a way within these beautiful, good-looking kids around here to choose a partner, we should explore that alternative first, with the mind still open to go beyond that. So, am I phrasing things that we talked about, my fellow adults? Tell me if I'm on the track. Yay, nay? Okay. So that was the thought process. Thank you.
Okay.